please welcome the one and only RZA.
Peace,
Hi.
what up?
Welcome. How are you?
I'm pretty good, yo. Just doing what I do. Happy to be talking to you, though. Thanks for inviting me.
I'm happy to be talking to you too. Thanks for coming on here. You're someone who you're constantly working on things. Like I said, across different mediums, whether it's the American Saga series, all your different musical projects, you're doing soundtracks, scoring, did a recent spot with Cadillac. But, you know, given how much the world has changed in the last year, especially since the start of 2020, how has the last year changed the way you look at creativity and creating?
I think creatively, it's actually opened up more doors. You know, I had more time personally to be home, and I'm a guy that has a lot of toys, beat machines, and and all type of cameras. So I had a chance to really play with a lot of things that I don't normally get a chance to play with based on scheduling. So I feel that creatively, a lot of artists are going to have a lot of new material coming out that's going to surprise the world because they have more time to digest and to release it. The dependency on external things are kind of disappearing, and I think that we now can rely on ourselves. Necessity, they say, is the mother of creation, right?
Yeah.
And so through necessity, we all found a way to express ourselves. When I first started as an artist, I was isolated. I was in a basement just making beats or, going through records. And quarantine pushed me back to be isolated. Very few people in my circle, and so I had to dig into myself to find creativity. And I feel like it's been a blessing in a weird way.
One thing that really stood out to me was guided explorations. I wanted to ask you how that came together and how you feel like 2020 really affected your decision to do that, and also getting into meditation and what that's been like for you creatively and what you were speaking about earlier.
As far as the project, it was just done naturally. It wasn't prompted by nothing. I was working with a great company, Tazo. I drink a lot of their teas, but other people could enjoy it because, like I said, meditation I prefer over medication.
You talk a lot about exploration, and you talk about a lot of exploration now too. So how have you been exploring so far in 2021, and what have you been gravitating towards creatively?
I'm in the middle of doing the Wu-Tang series. Mm-hmm. So I'm actually in 1993 right now.
Time traveling to us from then.
I'm time traveling. I'm watching, I'm reliving through Ashton Sanders and Shamik Moore. I'm watching these actors play us, and I'm kind of living it all over again. So I'll be back in 2021 in a couple of months when I wrap production. It's two things. One is surreal, right? It's because a chance to tell your story and a chance to have your story portrayed by other people is probably a far-fetched idea. Like when you're a kid, you don't even think you're going to be in the TV screen or on the movie screen, right? But you do have a dream of it, and sometimes you don't think dreams come to reality. But in my case, dreams have come to reality, and therefore I tell others to continue to dream. And so it's like I'm seeing a dream materialize. Going from as we meditate on visions, we meditate on imagery, and we meditate on building ourselves to be better and greater, right? And some people even meditate and they transcends and travel. Well, to me, being on set is a result of those thoughts in my life, a result of the Wu-Tang brothers and their art and their creativity, finding itself in strong roots and now continue to grow and branch out. I think the Wu-Tang story is important because it's a story of the youth of America. Of course, Black youth, non-Black young men. A lot of us don't find ways out of our community. We end up dead or in jail by 25. But then also it's a story of young Americans in any gender or race or creed, because it's going through that coming of age and finding your voice and finding your brotherhood and overcoming obstacles. So I think it's a beautiful story to be told, and I'm very grateful that we're telling it.
One theme just in your life is the theme of storytelling. What have you learned while cultivating your ability to tell stories?
I'll never forget what my freshman English teacher told me. He told me, buy a journal and write every day. And that became prominent for me because whether I'm writing lyrics or songs or now screenplays, the exercise of writing is so important. So I would advise anybody out there to write, because everybody has a story to tell. And one thing I can say to you, you asked me earlier about the creative process.
Yeah.
I now approach hip hop and music without no holds barred, no like I don't do it for money. You know what I mean? It's almost like I do it for the joy of it. In the beginning, that's how I did it. In the beginning, it was just me and Wu-Tang. My brothers was fun. Everybody come to my house. There was no budgets. And then it became $1 million budgets. And then it became, I only would do it for money. And then it became stagnated, right? And then I chased money. When you're chasing money, you actually are dropping something else because you're reaching for something. But now it's more like I just create just for the joy of it. And if it builds economic, it does. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. Two things. One is preparation. Mm-hmm. Put more time to preparation before you go into the project, because preparation is probably free. And then two, completion. Don't start nothing you're not gonna finish, y'all. You know what I mean? See ahead. Map it out. Through preparation, you already mapped it out, right? That's so even though you mapped it out, you know that, okay, there's an end. So you may have to run, walk, do the turtle or do the rabbit, but you got to get past the finish line.
Thank you so much for sharing all of your knowledge and wisdom and just joining me on this stream. This has been amazing.
Thanks for your invitation. Talk soon.